talking to a woman.
Yes.
And you were online to have a romantic liaison, sexual liaison.
Yes.
And then it transitioned into a discussion with her 14-year-old daughter.
Yes. At first I declined, then I couldn't get it on my mind while I was working and whatnot because it pissed me off beyond belief. And then that happened.
This happened.
Yes.
Surprisingly, Juan is being honest, at least so far.
And had you met somebody who was underage online before for
No.
sex?
In fact, when I actually was propositioned again by an actual girl who was posing as a 19-year-old and said that she was 15, I reported it right away.
You reported it. And when did this happen?
A couple years ago.
A couple years ago. And who did you report it to?
The site admins. I reported the profile.
Admins. So you get into this conversation.
Yes.
Which I've taken a look at.
I understand.
And it's very graphic.
Yes.
It's very sexual.
Yeah.
And you knew that this girl had told you that she was 14.
Actually, some of those texts didn't actually make it to my phone, so I didn't know when I spoke to her on the website, she said it was 14, but the one on the phone I didn't know, because there was a little bit of confusion at first.
Right, but you asked for photos of her.
Yes.
You wanted photos with the newspaper to see the date.
Yes.
Why would you do that?
To make sure that this was actually a little girl that was actually trying to do something, and I wanted to try to stop it.
You wanted to try to stop it?
Yes.
At least Juan had a so-called plan to play citizen detective.
Did you call the local authorities?
No.
Did you call 911?
No.
Did you report it to the service provider?
Not yet, no.
To the social media platform that you were on?
Mm-hmm.
To the actual, did you report it to the platform
upon
which you were chatting?
Not yet, no.
Okay. Don't you think that would be a good first step? Wouldn't it be easy to call the sheriff's department or the police and say, hey, look, I think there's a 14-year-old girl in danger who's offering herself up along with her mother for sex?
I was...
Right?
Pretty much, yes, but...
But that would have been the right thing to do.
Yeah. My mind was racing at the time.
Your mind was racing, right.
I'm very, 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 very good in IT and perusing the dark web and the deep web and going unnoticed. And the problem I had once I was told that this girl was 15 was
14 actually. She was
14. Sorry, was no, we're wrong.
Why did you?
Because I have a lot of inside sources. Also, I've done a lot of sheriffs and Sarasota PD's alarm systems. And
so you've done a lot of work for law enforcement.
Yeah, my mom was an assistant chief of police.
Oh, where was your mom? Assistant
in
Bridgeport, Connecticut.
And now she works for missing persons for Sarasota and the sheriff's office.
So were you ever in law enforcement yourself?
No.
But your mom has been in law enforcement.
My mom was in 32 years, yeah.
And
so
she was
retired in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and came down here to help out missing persons.
And she was deputy police chief in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Assistant chief.
Assistant chief of police in Bridgeport, Connecticut. That's a big job.
Yeah. So this would be the first time I've ever had cups on. But yeah, so what I was able to find through my source was that I wasn't speaking to a 14-year-old.
Okay, so
I was speaking to a detective behind a mask, pretending to be a woman who actually, through what I found, was actually over the age of 18.
So you knew that this was a sting going in.
So I knew it was a sting.
You had sources
and I called my friend. I told him they could pull my call log.
Right.
I called my buddy. I go, listen, I got this crazy situation. I go, they're playing this office that this girl's 15. They're like, just turn around and leave. I'm like, no, you know that's not my style.
Not your style.
Not to just walk away from it. I just wanted to prove a point.
So you wanted to prove...
I would never have walked in. I would never walk in that door.
But you walked in the hotel.
The hotel, sure.
Yeah, sure. So you had a sexually charged conversation with someone who said she was 14. Check me there.
You can use that, what you're saying.
Check, just
absolutely.
So that's true up to that point.
But the point is this is an
imaginary
14-year-old, which I knew the entire time.
And how did you know that, John?
Because I can do things that 90% of people can't with computers.
So you have the ability to go into secret places on the internet, talk to sources, and you did that tonight.
See where that computer was
Right.
that the detective was using,
Right.
and see where those
And where was the
those
computer
packets are
that
coming from.
where was the computer that the detective was using?
In the hotel.
In the hotel. So your sources told you that the computer the detective
Yeah.
was using was in the hotel room.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the hotel room, John.
Okay. Where was it?
You tell me. You've got all the sources.
That's what I got. I got the hotel room.
All right. So, in the course of this investigative project of yours,
Okay.
you talked about having sex, performing sex acts on this girl who said she was 14, right?
Okay.
You wanted to
Okay. Again.
perform oral
again,
sex on
keep
her.
in mind, this is all in my head as I'm
Right.
driving here. That as I get here, this is just gonna be like, thank you for trying to set me up. Have a nice day. But I wasn't able to do that. You see, they just tackled me before I even was able to even touch.
They
the door.
arrested you.
Yeah,
So, what brought you here today?
well, I was coming to visit.
You're
just
coming to
see
visit.
how they're doing.
How they're doing, and who were you coming to visit?
I was coming to visit a lady,
A lady.
and I had told her when I was pulling up I was coming to visit,
Coming to visit.
and that's all I was going to do.
And what's your name, sir?
Dave,
And Dave, how old are you?
I'm 70.
70.
Yeah.
And do you have a family, Dave?
Yes, I've got a wife, two children,
And how old are your children, Dave?
35 and 38.
And how did you meet this girl, Ashley?
I didn't meet any Ashley.
You were talking online.
I talked to her online, but then I changed my mind totally
Okay, well, take me through this because it's
because I
important.
just can't do this.
I think it's important that we get into the details.
Sure.
So help me understand this.
Yeah.
How did it start? How did you first come?
Well, I initially thought, I've had issues lately. I've not been able to perform like I used to, and I thought maybe this might be something that would help me. But then I thought more about it, and like I said, I just didn't want to do it. So that's why I texted her back and said I'll come visit, and if they needed a little bit of money, I was going to give it to them and go home.
But you went online looking for sex.
Yeah, just for curiosity's sake. Not that's all.
So you were having issues, and you thought this might light the spark.
Help me. But
Help
then
you
I
out.
thought about it, and I thought, I can't do this because I have a wife and 2 kids.
You have a wife and 2 kids. Have you ever met anybody online for
No.
sex before?
No.
Did Ashley tell you how old she was?
She said 15, and that's
15.
when I said, no, I can't do this.
But you agreed to paying her money for a BJ.
Yeah, at first, but then I thought, I'm not going to do this.
What did you mean by BJ?
Blowjob.
Blowjob. So initially in the conversation, you said, I'll give you $50 for a BJ. That's true.
Initially, yeah.
Meaning blowjob, oral
Yeah.
sex.
But like I said, I've changed my mind totally.
And you ask her in the conversation if this is a setup.
Yes.
What made you think this might be a setup?
It just didn't sound right to me.
Didn't sound right. And how far did you drive today, Dave?
About 30 miles.
30 miles. And where do you live?
I live in Adamsville.
In where?
Adamsville.
Adamsville. And is that near Birmingham? Mm-hmm. And what do you do for a living, Dave?
I'm retired.
You retired, but when you were working, what did you do for?
Sold cars.
You sold cars. What kind of cars did you sell?
Toyotas.
Toyotas. You did a pretty good job with it.
I think so.
You retired.
Yes.
How do you think this is going to go over at home, Dave?
My wife would divorce me.
She will divorce you. And is there any misunderstanding here in terms of what you wanted initially from this 15-year-old girl?
I didn't want anything. Like I said, when she
But
told
you
me,
said you wanted oral
but
sex.
she told me when she said 15, I was gonna, like I said, I changed my mind totally by the time I got here. I was, not gonna do it. Not
It
gonna do
sounds to me, and I've done this for
I know
a pretty
you have.
long
I know
time.
who you are.
You know who I am?
I recognize
How do you know who I am?
Television.
Television. So you've seen my shows before.
Sure I have.
Where's this leading to?
Oh, we're gonna
Like,
get to that.
seriously.
We're gonna get to that in a minute.
No, on a serious note.
Thomas, right?
Yes.
Okay. Explain to me why you came here.
Because she was online. I
Right.
look for people that are younger and apparently on drugs. And
Right.
I tried to talk to them, and get them off of what they're doing.
So you go
I'm
online.
a father of a 14-year-old. Why would
Right.
I try to be talking to a 15-year-old?
Well, that's what I want to
right
find
now,
out.
huh?
This could be a misunderstanding.
It is.
Okay, so just tell me what happened and what led you here. What were you really going to do?
To talk to her and tell her not to be doing this. Why are you looking for money to try to do this?
Right.
I mean, what?
Thomas's claim of just coming to help the girl is one of the most frequent excuses I hear, so I press him more on his intentions.
And so how often do you go online to try to help girls who are in this situation?
Every now and then. I mean,
Every now and again.
Yeah.
And how many have you helped?
As many as I possibly can. I mean, there's not.
Give me a
there's
number.
not-
Is it a dozen?
I mean, I can try to help them. I can give them the money, say, hey,
Right.
here's for your time. Let's talk and discuss what you're doing with your life.
Right.
Why are you doing this?
Are you part of a ministry?
No, I'm not.
So this is just something you
This
do
is
on
just
your own.
something- Yes.
And so do you have sex with the girls who you
No.
talk to?
I do not.
You do not.
No.
Have you ever met anybody online and paid them for sex?
No. I do not pay for sex.
You do not pay for sex.
I do not pay for sex.
Are you married?
I'm divorced.
You're divorced.
Yes.
And you have a 14-year-old daughter.
Yes, I have a 14-year-old, I have a 12-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 7-year-old.
So you have 4 kids.
Yes.
All girls?
2 girls, 2 boys. I'm not trying
2 girls and 2 boys. Okay, just relax. I'm just trying to find. A lot of guys who walk into this situation try to lie to me.
I know. I've seen it on TV.
You've seen it on TV.
I knew as soon as she said she was 15, I was like, I'm going to go talk to her.
You're going to go talk to her.
And
Did you call the police?
I did not. I should
Did you call the sheriff's office?
I should have.
Did you
Now that I'm
call
thinking about it now.
the state Department of Family and Child Services? Don't you think that would have been a better way to go
Yes,
on
I
this?
would have.
And
I'm serious. I'm not trying
okay, I want to get into this whole thing, right?
Okay.
Because if you're telling me the truth, that's a whole different situation than if you're here to have sex with a teenage girl.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Did you bring condoms?
I always have condoms on me.
Okay,
Always.
they're in your pocket.
Yes.
Put them on the table, please. Did you say what that reason was?
Yeah, I asked him, and he said because I could be an asshole and take the both of y'all for 100 for 30 minutes, or I could be the sweet, kind person that I am and let you know that the price, that's a BS price. He said we're just undercharging. I guess he was trying to. He said he could sit down and talk to us about prices and help us make some more money.
So he wants to be a pimp.
And then we told him that the niece was 15, so we were kind of open to whatever.
Are you law enforcement?
No.
No, I know you're not law
Oh,
enforcement.
yeah.
You
That's why I
asked
asked
him-
them, and
yeah.
they said no, so they lied. That's against the law, is it not?
No, it's not against the law.
So they ain't supposed to tell me if they with them or not. I asked if they was law enforcement or a sting operation.
You told them that you could help them make more money, that they weren't charging enough. What did you mean by that?
Like I said, it was a good deal. I was like, what the fuck?
You thought it was a good deal.
Yeah.
And what, Marco, did you think you were going to get for that?
What I asked for?
Which was sex with a 15-year-old girl?
No,
And
I didn't want the 15-year-old girl. I
Well,
swear
that's
to
not
God.
what you said.
That, you can read every message I said. I swear to God, I said nothing about touching the 15-year-old girl.
You seem to, at one point, say this is a bad deal. You could get into trouble because the girl's 15. But then you say,
Go on my phone. You got the messages right there.
fuck it.
I said, fuck it.
I'll ask for the address.
Yep.
So what made you go online and prowl around, ultimately meeting a 15-year-old girl, having a sexually charged conversation, then showing up here?
It's a long story, but she seemed like, in the beginning, didn't know where she was gonna go, and I just wanted to make sure she had a roof on her head, I guess.
You're just going to be the good Samaritan.
Yeah, because I know it sounds bad, but
It doesn't look good. There's a lot of sex talk.
and I also asked her if she needed a job. I didn't say nursery, but
Why did you ask her to be naked when you arrived?
Just to see her, I guess.
Just to see her naked. This 15-year-old girl.
Ugh, I know it's bad, but like my last text said, I'm not gonna touch you. I was trying to send it, and you guys nailed me.
Oh, so you were going to send a text saying, I'm not going to touch you,
Yes.
just as you walked in and got
Exactly.
arrested. So at the very last minute,
Because
you found a conscience.
No, I just was trying to play safe, and I think I said that too.
Trying to play it safe. What part of trying to play it safe involves
Oh, boy.
you wanting her waiting here naked and then getting into the shower while you watch? What's playing it safe about that, Luke?
I wasn't gonna follow through with it.
You
that's
weren't.
for sure.
You know, I hear that a lot, Luke.
Yep, and that's probably do, but I was just trying to send that last text. I'm not gonna touch you.
Yeah, but there was a whole lot of I'm gonna touch you, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I want you naked, I want you in the shower, before you got to that point.
She was a little bit of a instigator herself, and I
Really?
just yes.
Like I've been noticing like people in like the gay dating apps are
Right,
like trying to meet up with young people,
right.
and I'm trying to stop it and stuff.
Okay, so you
Stuff.
became aware of people trying to meet underage.
Yeah, and I was trying to meet someone that set up like secret meetings and stuff, and like help catch people that do that type of thing and stop it and stuff.
So you were trying to catch a predator,
Yeah, basically.
sort of, but by doing your own reverse sting.
No, not my own reverse thing. Just like I've literally seen it. Like I've experienced it before. Like when I was younger, when I was like 15 or 16, I like met with people, and like I've just ever since I've gotten older, you know, I realized how wrong it was and stuff.
Right.
Like, I wanted to find someone. So that's why like I met this like situation. It was obviously like a catch a predator situation.
Right.
I participated.
Right, so you wanted to be a part of the solution.
Yeah, genuinely.
And have you seen To Catch a Predator before on TV?
Yeah, no, I have.
Have you seen the most recent version called Takedown with Chris Hansen?
Yes.
It's on the TruBlu network. You've seen that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have cable anymore or anything because like it's so expensive and stuff. But like,
Well, it's streaming. You
Whenever
can get
I-
it on your phone.
oh yeah, no, I don't watch TV or anything like
Okay.
that.
But you're aware of the franchise. You're aware
Yeah.
of the investigation. During your conversation online, you talked about having sex with this boy, the boy you came to visit tonight.
Yes, no, that was all just saying it's like whatever the person just wanted to hear and stuff. Like it's not.
But you talked,
no,
Kevin,
worse.
you talked about having oral sex, and you talked about one of you being the bottom, which means
Yeah,
anal
no,
sex.
that's what. Like I said, I knew this situation was like a catch a predator situation.
So
Like,
you
not-
thought you were walking into a sting?
Yeah, no, I know.
Why did you show up then, Kevin?
Because that's what I was saying. I wanted to talk about the situation and like help to like stop future people. Like, cause I don't do that. Like I have like girls and stuff. I talk to females and stuff. Man, like I'm bisexual. Like I only like sexually speak. So I'm kind of flustered.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm kind of
only-
confused, Kevin, by your story, to be honest with you. So you date girls, but you go online to pretend to have sex with guys to protect them from actually having sex with other guys. Is that
No.
Okay.
I want them to have sex with guys their age and stuff.
right?
I just genuinely want them to not try to go after, older gentlemen like in their 20s and their 30s and their 40s.
Right.
Stuff like
Sort of like you with
Like-
this boy tonight.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I never came here with the intentions of doing anything. I just simply want to stop this type of situation and become a part of a program to catch people that are.
But there are a lot of other ways to do that besides show up to a place where you think a boy is home alone. You park your motorcycle pretty far away, and then you kind of sneak over here to try not to be detected. That's the way it looks. And to me,
yeah, that's how it looks. But generally, it's like I already knew from before. I just knew like signs to look for.
Yeah.
Or, like a sting situation, and I knew that's exactly what this was. I genuinely know.
But that doesn't make sense to me, Kevin. It really doesn't. It seems like the reality is that you came over here to have sex with a boy.
No, I genuinely did.
I know, but that's what the conversation was, Kevin.
Yeah,
You see how this looks, right?
yes.
Well, tell me what happened. Explain this whole thing to me so we can sort it out.
Talking to her and wanted to meet her.
And who is she?
I don't know, it's a girl I met online
A girl you met online. And when did you meet her?
yesterday.
Yesterday.
I was just coming over to talk, and
Just to hang out and have a Happy Meal?
that's what she'd asked for.
Yeah. What's in the Happy Meal?
One's a hamburger, one's a nugget.
Yeah. Says let's play.
Well, that's
Were you gonna play with her?
That's McDonald's.
That's
idea, not
McDonald's?
mine.
So this is the McNuggets.
Yeah.
Got a little apple slice in there.
I didn't even look in there.
Little French fry. What's in this one?
Hamburger.
Hamburger, is that for you?
Nope. I didn't know what she wanted.
So you got her 2 Happy Meals.
She just said a Happy Meal, so I didn't
Let's
know.
play.
That's not my idea.
Not your idea. And what's in here?
Some weed I brought,
Weed.
which is legal.
Yeah.
That's just a container.
Yeah. What kind of weed is in here?
I'm not even sure.
Not even sure. Do you smoke weed?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. And what's your name?
John,
And how old are you?
62.
62. And how old is the girl you came here to visit?
She said she was 14.
14.
And I haven't met her, so I really didn't know for sure.
Right. Now, why would you have a conversation at 62 years old with a 14-year-old girl?
I don't know. I was just bored and lonely.
Bored and lonely. And there's no women closer to your age to chat with?
Not that I'm involved with, no.
Yeah. And you see a problem with you
No, I do.
chatting with a
That's why I
14-year-old girl?
asked if there was police there.
Yeah. So if there was no police here, there'd be no problem.
No, I don't know what I would have done. I was very timid to come here. I was afraid to come here because I've never done anything.
You didn't look like you were afraid when you walked in the door with 2 Happy Meals and a jar of
Well, that's what she
weed.
asked for.
Yeah. Oh, so it's her fault. It's the girl's
No,
fault.
I'm not saying that at all.
So the girl was making
trying
a
to be nice.
62-year-old man do this, just trying to be nice. And you sent her some videos and pictures.
Yeah, I did.
And what did those videos and
They were
pictures show?
dirty videos.
Nude, dirty videos.
If you want to see the complete investigation and more full episodes, make sure you're subscribed here on YouTube and check out WatchTruBlu.com. There are literally hundreds of new episodes either in production or on our streaming channel right now, uncensored, all on WatchTruBlu.com. Use the code YouTube26 to watch all of the episodes for $2.50, or for an annual subscription, use YouTube Year for $20 off. And we'll see you on TruBlu.